whenever we go out, Mecca's like, "Are we dressing up?" And then we're like, "Mecca, you gonna dress up anyway, so it don't matter."
It's very much you from beginning to end, and I really feel that. Like I live that. Like that.
You live that. That's the truth.
I live that. Like, shout out to those people in my life. All right.
What about me?
You're one of them.
Okay. I'm just making sure I didn't hear my name, so I
named you at the beginning.
Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another show of Tiny Talks. Now, I always say with every episode, I have a treat for you, but I feel like this is a real treat, right? This is probably the most anticipated episode of the season. Not gonna lie, especially for me. I don't even have to say much about her because you know her. Everyone knows her. She's a celebrity. She's not just a local celebrity, but she's an international celebrity, right? So I feel like I can't really express how great she is and talented she is. I would just rather, let her tell you herself. So without further ado, I would like to welcome Miss Mecca Is. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Happy to be here. I'm glad you agreed to come on the show. I couldn't make Tiny Mike Talks without bringing Mecca Is on, right? Yeah,
well, really. Yes, I'm a necessity.
Exactly. You are a necessity. I'm glad you know. So Mecca, yeah. I already know about you. We're very close, I would say. But tell the audience a little bit about yourself and how you got your start in the arts, really.
Okay, well, my name is Mecca Is. I am a multi-faceted creative, so I do visual art, I direct my own photo shoots, I do my makeup, I am a makeup artist. I'm also great with clothes, stylist kind of vibes. Then I also I'm now a showrunner as well and an actor. So devout thespian. I got started I started with visual art and music. Music inspired me deeply, so it caused me to create visual art. And then because the music was inspiring art, it ended up affecting the way I dressed and like how I expressed myself in clothes. Then my friend Sam from like freshman year of college forced me to take pictures because of how well I dressed on a daily. And then it kind of just spiraled into its own thing. So shout out to Sam. So that's kind of the beginning of the journey. I think from there, I just kind of learned that I can really do whatever I want creatively because it's all just a language.
Right. And it's funny that you said that you really like started to do photography or, model really freshman year because we met freshman year and, we didn't talk or anything. Like we didn't meet per se, but I knew who you were because we were in freshman seminar together. And I was like, she would always come in like real fly, real dressy. I'm like, this girl dresses for every class. Like, you know how you have those people that I feel like that's me. Like, I don't really dress up until I go like out somewhere. But Mecca will dress up for any and every occasion. Okay, like whenever we go out, Mecca's like, "Are we dressing up?" And then we're like, "Mecca, you gonna dress up anyway, so it don't matter." That's just how she is. And I mean, I feel like you inspire me in a lot of ways because I feel like we always gonna get looked at no matter what because they gonna be looking at Mecca every time we go out. So, I mean, she's been real humble right now, but she is the it girl. I'm telling y'all because if you go to her page, if you see any of her photos, anything she does, like Mecca is the it girl. I'm just saying, like, she is the it girl. So, yeah, you're welcome. Can you describe your art style for anyone who's never seen your work? And this can be for your studio art and also for your creative director endeavors, so like your photo shoots and everything.
So for visual art, I would say I'm taking music and I'm encapsulating it visually. And I have a thing for eyeballs, like a big thing for eyes. So the eyes will always stand out. It's always self-portraits. Sometimes it's abstract, but sometimes the abstract pieces themselves still have eyeballs involved. I think eyes are like windows to the soul, and like you can see so much. There's so much to take in about the world from your eyes. They're very important. So I always emphasize that in my artwork. It's very colorful. I kind of like take inspiration from other people, and I put them on paper, but I also project myself. I see myself in them, and then I put them on the canvas. So that's kind of what I do visually. But all of it is about sight and like being able to like see the beauty or the vision of something. I also think that, Black people are like, we're very profound and layered. And I think that we live in a society that will never teach us like how deep and how amazing we are and like how advanced we really could be. They're kind of like just teaching us how to operate on a very low level. But I'm like, we're extraterrestrials. We are next level. So I also create aliens because I don't think we're just human. I think we restrict ourselves to the society's definition of being a human. It's like we are beyond that. So I like creating aliens and Black people, like indigenous aliens. And I like celebrating, uplifting Black women. I think I do my pieces all have separate themes or like separate tones because I want to show that we can exist in different lights. You know what I mean? So this is Braven, my girl Braven. I love her so much. It's like Beast Boy and Raven had a daughter. That's who she is.
So Braven, that's where that name comes from.
Beast Boy and Raven, yeah, they had a child with her. This is
Tell us about this one.
I love this one. This one is like, I think it's like the simplest piece I think I've ever done visually when it comes to like displaying like a person. I think it's very powerful. I love that it's like half of her face and like the background is simple because like her beauty is the moment. Like she is the moment, and it's based off of Solange because that's my girl. That's my queen.
Shout out to Solange. Remember, it's going back to when we met in freshman seminar. I can't remember exactly what the project was about, but I think it was like tracing your family lineage or something. And I named my project A Seat at the Table, and Mecca was like, ah! Like she was the only one in the crowd that was actually hyping me up. So it's funny that you brought that up. That's so funny. And what about this one?
This one is a Black woman I saw on social media. She had a really beautiful facial structure, and I just thought she was like so beautiful, and I wanted to like encapsulate her in a piece. And like I think it was my first time doing a piece that wasn't so like doused in color and flowers, and it was really just focused on like the woman, her features, like her just being Black and like electrifying you with that, and like just letting her speak for the picture rather than like having a background or like a bunch of other things that like distracted from her. Like I wanted her to be the focus only. And I think her eyes are made with like this warm copper brown glitter. So it's like, it really draws you in because the rest of the picture is matte. That's my girl.
You said that's your girl.
That's my girl. Cecilia, that's my girl.
So you name all of your pieces, like not just the piece itself, but you name the woman and the subjects in the piece, right?
I do sometimes. It depends on the inspiration I pull it from. Like, because sometimes when you pull from a certain place, it's easy to name something. But some things you pull from, it's harder to create a label or like a title to identify it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and I've always had an appreciation for studio art because I'm not an artist by any means. I mean, I could draw stick figures, but like for you to
doubt it.
Huh? You
I doubt it.
I can create some stick figures, don't get me wrong.
If you can do art in one form, you have the mental capacity to speak the other languages if you want to. Like you can speak multiple languages.
And people say that, but it's like, I think I get really mad when I'm drawing. Like something as simple as coloring, I get mad because my hand starts to hurt. And I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. So anytime we would have those projects in college where we had to like do some type of studio art.
Not a cramped hand. You're like, I can't.
Yeah, a cramped hand. I would have a cramped hand. I would have marks on the side of my palm because I'm right-handed. I mean, it would have been the same if I was left-handed too, but it's so annoying when you get a cramp. I'm just like, I don't want to do this no more. So I applaud you. And I wanted to go back to where you talked about putting Black people in these spaces where we're not necessarily included in. I always think it's important for us to create work where we are in spaces that, you know, we haven't really seen representation for us. So when you talk about the alien and, you know, just that piece itself, just to include us in a space like that, like that's really cool, because I love sci-fi, and I think having Black people in a science fiction aspect, that would be pretty cool too. So I think we are aliens, by the way, but like,
we definitely are. We just stuck and like hold ourselves back.
yeah. You remember when they were like, Black people are going to have superpowers on December or something? It was like 2 years ago.
And did.
We got superpowers. Well, we had superpowers before, don't get me wrong, but we really got our powers strengthened that day. But to go back off that question, we're going to pivot into your photography and your modeling. So, I mean, tell me about your thought process when you are creating a theme or some type of vision in your mind where you go to take pictures, or, you know, when you have that creative freedom to do that.
So when it comes to taking pictures, usually when I have control and like I have like full control of the circumstance and the vision, I'm usually trying to express a feeling like through myself physically. Look at this. These are the pictures that she took of me for my birthday in Miami. She ate this picture up, you know what I'm saying? She ate that. Shout out to Des. I love these pictures from this year. They were film. Yeah, I'm kind of addicted to film now. Destiny's film pictures are amazing. I don't really want to shoot anything else but film this year, I'm not gonna lie. But
I try.
She ate that. She eats my pictures up. I really love Destiny because I feel like she, as a photographer, also as a person, but like I feel like she's able to like travel with me wherever I'm trying to go as a photographer. And I really appreciate that. But I just kind of usually take whatever I want to feel or express, and I encapsulate it in myself and how I present myself, whether it's the hair, the makeup, the outfit, the tones in the outfit. And then I try to find a background or like a background that complements the world I created on myself. And usually I'm just trying to get out a feeling. So it's like I'm painting, but with myself in a way. Like, right. I want to see this.
You also paint, you know, through your clothes too.
Yes. So my clothes are very colorful, very fashionable. So like I use clothes as like a means of communication for me. And it's so funny because if people really ask me like how I'm feeling, I'd be like, oh, I'm actually angry. I'm actually low-key angry person. But and it's like why do you think my hair is green? Like why do you think I have like so much going on? Like I'm communicating or expressing how I feel internally, externally, which probably can make me a little more mellow in a way because it's like I'm getting the feelings out. But it's like, yeah, I'm angry. That's why my hair is red. That's why my hair is going to be blue when I want it to be blue. That's why it's going to be purple. That's going to be whatever I want it to be. But I just encapsulate. I feel like photography is a good way to encapsulate those feelings in those moments and what I want to express. I think at this moment I felt restricted. I think in this specific photo shoot, I was in a season of life where I felt very restricted and I did not want to feel restricted anymore. So I wanted for the shoot to be really intense and colorful, whether it was my outfit, my makeup, the color of the backdrop. Like I just didn't want to feel, I felt trapped. And it's like, that was my way of like rebelling. So I feel like for some people, the pictures could have been like, oh, like this is intense. Like these are probably the pictures I've gotten the least love on. I'm not upset about that because I feel like I do my art for me and to get out how I feel. But it's like, nah, y'all don't get it. Like I'm angry, like I'm upset and I need to be loud right now. I need to get out how I feel on the surface.
And I think it's important that we have these methods of art or these mediums of art for us to express ourselves too, because I mean, through what I want to do, like with my films and everything, I want to express like my sense of yearning for a love that's like real and raw. And I think it's important that, you know, we express all parts of ourselves too, even the angry parts too, like you said. I mean, I don't know, it's not art if you're not putting your all and your own self into it. So I'm glad that you said that too. And we have fashion and we have art, but we got to talk about the makeup too. I mean, like, we have to. I mean, that's a given. So Mecca is like one of the most talented makeup artists that I know, and she's not just a makeup artist. She makes the other person a canvas, and she does her work. She does her magic. Right.
The way you said it is perfect.
Was
it? Yes.
Right. So tell me about how makeup makes you feel as a person and artist, and how you're able to convey what the subject wants to see in their makeup.
So when it comes to conveying someone else's desires, they need to give me a clear vision of what they want. But the thing is that I'm going to do it according to them. Since I'm an artist, I understand tones, blending, I understand shapes. So what's most important when it comes to me doing makeup, no matter the style or who I'm doing it for, is like really understanding what's in front of me and complementing it and building on that and enhancing that. So like if you were to look at like a layout of my makeup style, like on my makeup page, Makeup by Mecca Is, go ahead and follow that. But when you look at all the subjects, I feel like none of them look the same. It's not like this like template that's copy and pasted on multiple people. It's like everyone's face and look is their own. And I think that I think being an artist makes it easy for me to approach makeup that way, because I really see things in people for what they are. And I just like to decorate that, including myself. So, sometimes it's chill, it's soft, it's buttery, but sometimes if I'm angry, lately it's just been like intense eyeliner, like in heavy eyeliner looks. So it just depends on the season I'm in. But I think understanding your canvas is really important and what they're trying to say.
Yeah. And I wanted to ask you, I don't know much about makeup. My mom does makeup, so I see that, and I know you do makeup. You two are like the closest to me. Please. But are there any trends, whether that be current day or like past, any makeup trends that you really love to recreate, or just really like to base your style off of?
The one that I feel like I cling to the most is, I think, contouring and blush and highlight. Like when the full beat was like a thing. Now everyone's like, the less is more, soft glam. I don't really pivot with trends in any regard, in anything. But I think that's something I will always do in my makeup, because I feel like it's a way to enhance the natural facial structure of someone, even if it's according to their face shape. So I feel like that's something I will always do as a makeup artist, or when it comes to my makeup. But then also, like, blush is like such a beautiful part where it gets to like highlight where your cheeks fall and makes your face warm, and like it's amazing. And then the highlight, it feels like a little dance party on the side of your face with like the glitter. So that's something I'm never giving up. I don't care what trend. I don't care if bare face is the next thing. It will be a contour. It will be a nice gradient of blush, and it will be highlight.
Yeah. So how do you incorporate makeup and fashion into your everyday life?
I dress how I want, when I want, no matter what. Like, if there's a dress code and we're going to like, LOL, I'll never get over what I wore to Madison's mom's wedding. I'm happy she approved, but it's like, I will always be as respectful and mindful as I can of special occasions, but I'm going to be me even in those occasions. Like, I do, like, no matter where I am, what we're doing, I will dress how I feel. And I think that's a really good permission to give yourself on a daily, because it's like you're giving yourself permission to show up as you are in every space. And even if it can't always happen like on a social level, you're expressing it and giving yourself permission to do that on some level. And you're making that choice constantly. So that's kind of how I incorporate it daily. People are like, what about this? We're going to brunch. I don't care about brunch attire. What will I feel nice in? Exactly. I don't care about we're going to the club. I want to feel cute. not like I'm assimilating to get the approval or to match what's going on in the space. I'm going to dress how I want to dress.
Right. So with you having this sense of knowing yourself and, you know, confidence about how you present yourself and dress and everything, has this always been the case? Like, how has your confidence been throughout your life?
I think I wanted to fit in for a long time, and like my family could not financially afford to. So when everybody was wearing Aeropostale sneakers and girls were decked out in pastries, I had like 2 pairs. My family could never afford to keep up with the trends. But then I wanted to do them to fit in too, but I just never fit in. I was always a little quirky, you know, I was always a little weird. I was always a little oddball, like my whole life. So I think 10th grade is when it hit me that like, you can't afford to, and even when you kind of do, it's not working. So now what? Like, just accept yourself and like, just do you. And I think that's probably the coolest and best decision I ever made in my life. But I think that it gave me a chance at an early age. I began the process of choosing myself on some level. Like, and I think that it was easier when you're younger because life is simple then. So you get to really live in accepting yourself because life doesn't complicate it with work and people and responsibilities. You really get a chance to really be in yourself. And I really embraced that. Like, niggas was walking, I was dressed, people questioned my sexual orientation because of how I dressed. I would always wear baggy clothes and Timbs, but I would wear makeup. So they would be like, and I would wear like bow ties and like suspenders and like collar shirt to my homecomings and like to my dances. Like, I would not wear a dress. So people would be like, are you sure you're not gay? I'm like, listen, okay, I'm sure I'm not. I just kind of dress how I want. And I really used to dress like a guy. Like, I really did. Like, all grandpa shirts, and I had like 3 different pairs of Timbs, like pink, the butters, and like these dark green ones. And I just dressed how I wanted, and I just dressed how I felt. And I made that choice like around in high school. So like, I really gave myself permission to explore who I was and how I felt at an early age. So this kind of carried over into adulthood. And it's like, you still got to be mindful of how you keep that alive in adulthood, because being adult comes with different obstacles that can compromise who you are or take up space in who you are. So it's like, you have to like pivot through adulthood, learning how to like keep that intact. But that initial choice of freedom and like permission was really, really powerful for me, like as a person overall.
Yeah.
Were there any understood? Huh?
Yeah. I was gonna ask, was there, or I'm sure you have many. I know a couple of your musical inspirations, but do you have any, including the musical inspirations, do you have any inspirations that have inspired you to live in your truth and be comfortable within yourself?
My biggest inspiration around that era, and I still feel like she is beautiful and still daunting and beautiful now, is SZA. Like, I used to wear freckles with the wand curls. I used to try to wear overalls. I used to, cause like she was a Muslim. She was raised Muslim and Christian. So she was like complex. She was thick. She was dark skinned. She was just kind of like, she had this big, beautiful, puffy hair, and she was just herself. And she would sometimes wear the jerseys and just dress like a boy. And I'm like, yeah, like, just do whatever you want, wear what you want. So I had to say SZA was very important to me. And then all of Top Dog Entertainment, like Schoolboy Q was an influence on me, Kendrick, Isaiah Rashad, J-Rock, Absol, Joey Badass era, Flatbush Zombies, like that whole era of music, Wale, Chance the Rapper, Vic Mensa, all those people were just being themselves in an era where I feel like now music is different, but I feel like they were like one of the last group of artists that really embraced just like really, it was a wave of just being yourself, and like whatever you brought to the table just like widened the scope of music. And I feel like because they were like that, it just kind of gave me permission, like, yeah, just be yourself, be in your bag, like do your thing.
Yeah. And it's funny because Mecca has always talked about how much she's loved SZA and Isaiah Rashad. Like, those are the 2 people. And I know Smino has also inspired you as well.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. I discovered him later, but yes. Now that is a stepper. Okay.
That's your
That is
guy.
a stepper. Yes. Yes.
So with us, we're gonna pivot. I want you to tell me about Mecca does a lot of modeling, photography, creative director stuff. Like she got her hand in every bag. And you can see her title says multi-faceted creator. So Mecca has now ventured into the showrunner, director, producer type of realm of TV and everything. So I want you to tell the audience about Office Pizza. What is Office Pizza and what is the passion behind that project?
So Office Pizza was an idea that really started with Destiny and her friend Ford, who is also an actor on the show. The idea came to me like 2 years ago because we were in a parking lot just talking one summer. And it was a really funny night. And they were just talking about all their adventures at their job at the time, Pizza. And it was so funny. Like all their stories were so funny. I'm like, you should make a show about this. I've always been the person that's like, let's make something. Let's create something from this. Like we are all cool, interesting people. Like our friend group. It was me, Stacy, Madison, and Destiny. The homies are grown up and we're all on different paths now. But like I feel like we always had something, that could be encapsulated or built upon. So that's where the idea was planted. But I quit my job last year and I just kind of like was thinking about all the things I wanted to do creatively. And I was like, why don't we just do a show? Like, why not? Like, Madison's about to leave for California to be a grad student for film.
Shout out to Madison.
Shout out to Madison. And Stacy is really good at production management and casting directing. So I was like, why don't we just make something? And I'm like, I'm tired of like waiting for permission or like the right moment to do something. I'm gonna do this shit because I know enough people fuck with me, and with God, anything is possible. So I'm just gonna go after it because I'm tired of like not getting all my ideas out. So I just kind of made a writer's room. And from that writer's room with Asha B, Madison, Destiny, and our good friend Cyrus from Bowie, who's a great playwright, I just made a writer's room and told them about the general idea of Moe Pizza and like just how it's like it's like The Office, but a pizza place, a janky pizza place in the DMV. And it's episodic, so every episode can be its own little world. And I kind of just like was like, okay, guys, these are the characters, these may be the circumstances. Have at it, write your episode. And once we had the episodes written, I was like, yeah, this is happening. Cool. Let's knock this out. And then that's what our summer was last year. Moe Pizza.
Moe Pizza was the summer. And if you can you tell us a little bit about the characters that you have in Moe Pizza?
Yes. Since it's an ensemble piece, it can sometimes the main character, it's hard to tell who the main character is sometimes, but the definite, for sure, main character is Courtney. The focus doesn't always remain on him, but it's Courtney, the manager. He's really unhinged, just the worst. He's definitely a reflection of like a manager that like is completely irresponsible, incompetent, but likes to dictate things. So that's kind of how he operates, and that causes has its own ripple effect in the workplace. Then we have Melody, the character I play. She is very manipulative. I feel like she's way smarter and way more capable than she shows in that space. But she just kind of finesses her advantages in this space to the best of her abilities. So she's very, very observant, very manipulative. Then we have characters like Petunia, played by Destiny. And Destiny is also the DP on the show as well. Shawty's wearing a lot of hats, but she's basically a character that doesn't speak much, but her hands do, you know what I'm saying? It's like she doesn't talk much, but like when she has something to say, you'll know.
I will add this. The character is based off me, but to a certain extent. I would not put hands on anyone. Let me say that.
Yes, she's like the extreme version of Destiny, where like Destiny will probably think or feel a lot and like move like, But Petunia is like more like, and then she'll just be sure. We have Nikolai, he's a prankster. We have Delvin, who is also he's like the manager, like the second guy in charge, like the one worker that doesn't have an official like leadership position, but everyone relies on, and like the place wouldn't run without. But it's funny because he's like kind of like not there most of the time. We have Eugene, the delivery guy. He hates everyone so much he'd rather deliver pizzas on a bike than to actually deal with the actual crew there. I'm definitely forgetting like Eugene, the delivery driver. Yes.
Oh, wait. No, not Eugene. Sorry. I meant to say
Eduardo, yes. Played by Ford. He's based off of a person we know, but he's an exaggerated version of him. So like he's like this like soft, cutesy person in the workplace, but he's like a big guy, like Eduardo on Fox for Imaginary Friends. So he was like always messing up and like burning the pieces, and he's adorable, but like not reliable in the workspace. So
and then also Callista
is just a character who is very emotional. She's young and like I would say she encapsulates all the intense emotion of all the characters. Like for all the female characters, like my character is covert, she's sneaky, she's like reserved, she's watching and chilling out. Petunia is just chilling until you make her fight. But all that emotion that doesn't get shown between those two is encapsulated in Callista, and she kind of like is obsessed with one of her coworkers and super in love with him, and like she's just volatile and crazy and expressive. So all the characters are pretty exciting in their own way.
And I mean, when you first came to me and everyone else about the show and the idea of it, I always thought it was a great idea, because I feel like the number one way to truly put out a genuine piece of work is through experience. And with me being at that job for 2.5 years, almost 3 years, I mean, I experienced a lot of stuff. Ford experienced a lot of stuff. So I think just the idea of creating a piece that's based off experiences from work, something as simple as work, it's not simple, because you have so much that can happen with work, especially with coworkers, not even just with coworkers, but your job itself, what you're doing at the job. And don't forget about customers too, because customers are a major part of it. But I mean, how has it been diving into this world of show running and producing?
It has not been smooth at all. I'm grateful that I'm aware of the community that I have and that I pulled on it. There's so many Bowie graduates and so many Bowie students. Like Tyree, she's our graphic designer. Shout out to her. She's literally phenomenal. Like when I say our posters, our flyers, our logo, it looks so legit. Like she really ate that. Like, so she is also a Bowie graduate that we're working with on the project, but there's so many Bowie people involved. But so I learned to pull on my community and know what my resources are and to like respect them and honor them. But also I learned shit is not sweet. It's not smooth at all. Nothing is guaranteed. So I see why like certain roles in production are needed, like whether it's scripty or like location scouter. Location was a big issue. And when we first embarked on the journey, but since I'm someone that's good at improvising and making the best of things, shout out to the artist mind, I would try to find ways to make the best of the time we had anyway. But like it'd be obstacles, like we'd have a place to film at a restaurant, and then like they would contact me the night before and say, it's like, nah, we can't do this anymore. The day before filming. And it's like, you got to pivot. You got to find a way to use the time of people that you scheduled with. And due to the location thing, it kind of like made the filming process longer and take longer to complete. So that was the most stressful thing about it. But also like, it's so expensive to do anything independently. And I just encourage everyone, like, you know, if you want to invest in your ideas to the fullest extent to complete it, cool. But I've learned that after this pilot, we're applying for grants right now. Okay. Like we're trying to get grants, because out-of-pocket costs, like, because I don't take feeding my cast and crew lightly. I don't feel like that's something that's not even up for negotiation. Feeding them, making sure they feel comfortable, making sure that you're being a leader, that you need to know how to put your foot down. We're getting better every day, but put your foot down, but like, make sure you're creating an environment people want to be in. Like, it's so important that the people who work with you want to be there and they actually enjoy the process and enjoy each other. And it's kind of amazing how off the rip, the first table read we did virtually, everyone just like fed off of each other and everyone started talking to each other immediately like they knew each other. So the chemistry is amazing, you know, but it was a lot to learn and navigate because you have to constantly work around obstacles, or like, oh, this person, oh, we need this character here this day. This character's not here. Okay, we're going to switch to this part of the script. Let's manipulate the words this way. Let's do like, it's constant shifting and pivoting, and you just have to be willing to like see all that's in front of you to move to the next thing and create from it. But also have people around you who aren't yes men, who can see the field differently as well. Because if you're only doing things from your understanding and something that you're new at, it's just best to always factor in other people's perspectives and feelings, but not everyone's, but the people that you know that you can count on. Like Destiny's opinion, I'm listening to that. Stacey's opinion, I'm listening to that. Madison's opinion, I'm listening to that. Ashabi, like, I know, like, have your people that you know that you can listen to, not for them to necessarily call every shot, but that you can trust what they're saying and you can move based off of that. So,
and I like that you said that, because it's especially important, like you said, because you're new to doing this, and for having experienced people like Madison, Ashabi, Stacey, who worked on major sets too, to have that input, to be able to have them, maybe not in person, but have their expertise on your team is definitely important too, because I mean, somebody may know a certain aspect of the production and somebody else may not. So, I mean, and I also like what you said about not cutting corners on making sure your cast and crew are okay, because at the end of the day, my project, my senior film, was volunteer based. I gave you credit and I gave you meals. People were not getting paid. So it's especially important, if people are not getting paid, you need to pay extra careful attention to how the production is running, because it's not even just that aspect too, but it's also like, if you do things in the future, people are not going to want to work with you. And this industry is really big, but it's also really small, especially in our circle too. It's really small, our area. So, I mean, you worked on multiple sets before too, whether that be as an actor or a production assistant, but like, how has it been, you know, being in front of the camera and also behind the camera as well? Tell me about that.
it's stressful when you're starting it's stressful because when you're starting your first project, you're wearing many hats. Shout out to Stacey for wearing 1,000 hats as well. But like, you have to do your best to cover what you don't have. And so it's not really ever just like, when you are the creator of the show and you're also in it, you also have this like scope in between where you have to fill in all these other gaps that aren't being filled and do your two jobs. So it's like, it's overwhelming. But like I said, when you have like a team, when everyone's doing what they can, when everyone's doing their best with what they know and what they can do, you usually can get a good result from it, for sure. And things usually work out, from my understanding. They usually work out when everyone's just trying their best and putting their best foot forward. So I think that without Stacey, there would be no show. That's my backbone.
Absolutely.
That is the other half.
Absolutely.
Without her, Lord.
Yeah, I mean, Stacey is, like you said, worn multiple hats in this production, and even in my senior film, like, she was helpful in so many ways. So shout out to Stacey. I mean, she's also getting her gains in at her it's not really new anymore, but her new job. Shout out to her. So I mean, with us being in this industry, I know it's easy to like get discouraged because of many things. So with you being new to the scene and like the background aspect, it's also hard like that. Receiving constructive criticism is also something that's even hard for me too. But I know it's to help me at the end of the day. So with us, or with you making this pilot episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you see in the future for Office Pizza? Because there are multiple episodes to get through.
They are. So for Office Pizza, I'm seeking grants and funding and overall crowdfunding towards the production of it, because it's so expensive. I feel like once I have that, I will be planning the rest of the show in like such a way, like it'll be done on such a better level. Like I feel like what we did, like what we accomplished within the pilot and what I accomplished within the pilot is so good for my first shot in the dark. Like I'm really proud of that. Like I don't care. I ate that. But
you did.
Now that I have the experience, now I know like what the pitfalls are, the issues, having a location solidified, making sure the budget's there, making sure you know who's available, what they can do, notifying people ahead of time, having plan Bs. I feel like this entire series is going to be definitely successful in its own right. I'm not necessarily seeking any type of level of success on a popularity level necessarily. I'm not seeking that, but I just want to execute the idea to the fullest extent and make sure we share it with as much people as possible. And we just create something to be proud of. And depending on how this season feels, maybe there's definitely a season 2, and we'll know how to get funding for that next time. And we can prepare ahead of time. And that's why I plan on doing it the right way in terms of like the best that I can do and doing all that I can for it, and then taking it where it goes. And then I'm using this experience from Office Pizza, it used to be Office Pizza, from Moe Pizza. And then from there, I would use that knowledge to create my network idea.
Right. Cool.
Yes.
And I mean, going back to when we talked about the amount of Bowie, not even just Bowie alum, but Bowie State students and people that you know, that whole network. I think it's really important, and I talked about this with Peyton in his episode. How has it been working with your Bowie State network and just utilizing everything that you found while you were at Bowie State? And how has that translated into maybe your work ethic and how you operate on a daily basis? And what does it look, how is it transferred into this project?
Something that I've always done and still do is I'm very like mindful of how I treat people. And not because it's a clear fact we all need each other and that someday you'll need them. But how about just being nice without a cost, being kind without a cost? Because you never know how that translates in the future. Like, I don't think you should do it for that reason, but like being a genuine, kind person, or doing my best to be the best person I can be every day when I interact with people. And from going to Bowie, the fact that like I was like that, it helped me have so many resources that I didn't realize I would need, or that would really be a deciding factor if I even had a show right now, or if it would be severely postponed due to a lack of funding, because renting a space hourly to film in is not cheap. So I didn't realize that, like how much it would mean, but until I did. And then like having certain staff members that are so supportive, like Professor Makeshawa or Miss Cook. Like I had a really good rapport with those two. I was there just as a person. So when it was time for me I needed certain resources, or I needed some help, or like I needed just any type of assistance I can get, they definitely showed up and showed out. So shout out to them. But I think being a real person to people on a consistent basis is probably the best thing you can do in life, period. You're not really guaranteed anything from it, but it comes with so much fruit.
Yeah, it does.
Tyree could be like, who was this girl? And I'm like, I don't know, but it's like I probably talked to her head off a 1,000 times at Bowie just casually, and then now she's like, oh yeah, sure, I'll do your graphic design. It's whatever. Like,
yeah. And I think it's important. You're right. We need to foster these relationships, even though we might not necessarily know them in the moment. I mean, I didn't really get to talk to Tyree when she was at Bowie, but I know she went there. And, I think it's important that we uplift each other, because we did go to the same school. And it's not even just that, but like, I mean, I met so many great people through the Fine and Performing Arts program. And not even just that program, but like at the school as well. So I think it's important that, you know, we talk to people that, you know, might have seen us in passing, because you never know if they might have an opportunity for you, or if you can put them on with an opportunity too. So I think it's all cool that we're still constantly collaborating with each other, and that we're in each other's lives. So I mean, we have a great resource, I would say. And
Yes, we do.
with that, we're pivoting into the next segment, which is it's like a little mini game I like to play. It's called Top Two, Not Two. So
Mhm.
it's basically a game where you have to pick between one of the two options. And I like to think that Mecca Mecca is not the type of person to, or maybe she is. I think she might have existential or internal crisis when she has to like pick options. I think she does. Yeah, look her face. But I think it'll be pretty easy for you to go through these things. So when I ask you the either or question, you have to explain why you picked your answer, right? Okay. So first one, we have bright colors or neutral tones for fashion to wear.
Oh, bright for sure.
Why?
I think bright has range and it allows you to express a lot. So, you know, neutral, I feel like neutral is a given, especially when you're a Black person. I feel like we physically are neutral, like we're neutral colors. So I like bright colors to accentuate that for the most part.
And it's funny because I would pick neutral tones because, you know, I'm pretty mellow, like I'm like straight line. So next one is makeup or fashion.
Fashion.
Fashion, always.
Yeah, fashion always, but I feel like every look doesn't require some intense makeup look. Sometimes coming as you are with a certain look is enough. You know, it's about balance. When you're dressing, it's about balance. So as long as your clothes are doing most of the talking, your face may not have to do much. Maybe your accessories carry, you know? But yeah, makeup can't change or cannot always compensate for every outfit. Sometimes it'll just fall flat.
Yeah, you're right. Acting or modeling?
Acting.
Why?
Acting because acting is like an active moment of like living and like expressing and being like, it's like being in a different world. So you have to be present with yourself on another level and you get to live in that for an extended period of time. Modeling is just theme, vibe, picture, pose, and like capturing a moment of a pose. And it's although it's beautiful and expressive, it's short-lived. Acting is something you get to keep, you get to like live in longer.
Yeah, I agree. Neo soul or R&B?
Why you gonna ask me two things that are damn near the same thing?
I know, I was thinking that too when I said it, but I was like, they are different.
They are definitely neo soul, because people classified everything Chris Brown ever made as R&B at one point. People were just like, it's R&B. Chris Brown was on it, and it's like, that's not R&B. He is not the definition of R&B.
Yeah.
So I'll have to go with neo soul because that's very its own solidified class.
Yeah, and I'm gonna just throw one in there because, like we've been talking about, you are a SZA girly through and through. So, are you a control girly or a SOS girly? And explain why.
Oof.
Because I never got to ask you about this actually.
I think I'm an SOS girly. I think control, it wasn't something I could relate to across the board. I don't feel like yet I've reached a place where I can say I relate to her across the board on that album. There's like a few songs, like 20 something or Drew Barrymore, or maybe Wavy Interlude. And it's like, okay, I can identify with how she felt on these songs for sure. But when it comes to like how I actually feel and like how angry I am, I feel like SOS just does it for me. Like it's angry. It's very much you from beginning to end. And I really feel that. Like I live that. Like that.
You live that. That's the truth.
I live that. Like, so whether it's from the beginning, the very beginning, to the outro of the album, which is Forgiveless. There's Forgiveless, there's SOS, there's Blind, there's Conceited. I can't relate to Snooze, but I can relate, I don't want to say Kill Bill. I can relate to aspects of Kill Bill, very specific aspects of Kill Bill. But I just feel like I can relate to more songs on that album than Control. Very angry.
Very angry. Mecca is a very angry girl. But Mecca is also a sweetheart, so don't let this conversation fool you. She's very much a sweetheart.
Very sweet.
Very sweet. I was like, Mecca is, you ever meet a person that like, you don't even have to go up to them, but they'll come up to you and be like, hi, how are you? That is Mecca. It may not be her all the time, don't get me wrong, but that is her.
Very much so.
That is her. Very much so. So we're towards what?
I feel like I would, if I didn't have all these mediums of expression or did not have them throughout time, I'd probably be a way more angry person. Like I think that anger would like actually live, but since I express so much, it kind of diffuses it. So I have room to be a sweetheart.
Yeah, I agree. So we're going to pivot because we are at the end of the show. It's been 50 minutes, but it doesn't feel like it's been 50 minutes. We've just been talking. This is like what we typically do, right? Yeah. So I just have one question. How do you want to be remembered when you're gone?
As someone who definitely tried. Someone who tried at like at life, who tried it like at love, who tried to do everything that was like in her scope and like in her imagination, and like for people to take from me, like just give yourself a chance, just try, just reach out, like just try. Like I feel like people get given to conforming too easy, and it's like it makes them not try or it takes away their curiosity. So it's like, just see me as like an act of curiosity and give yourself permission to be curious too.
Yeah. And I have one more. What do you have to say, or what advice would you give to someone who doesn't necessarily know their style or who they are as a person yet, who is still finding themselves and who may be in a place where they want to be, but they may have like something holding them back to being their true selves? What would you say, or what advice would you give?
You need to learn how to pick yourself above all, and not in a way where you're saying, fuck everyone else and you're actively choosing chaos for everyone else, but in a way where like you can't let other things or people dictate or interfere with your internal world. And if you do, you will never get a chance to see all that you are made of just yourself. You'll never get a chance to see that because you will always let something interfere with that. So it's like, it can start as simple as like, I like this skirt. Are other people wearing the skirt? No. Well, the people I'm hanging out with like this skirt. That doesn't matter. Do I like the skirt? Okay, I'm wearing the skirt today, and I'm going to like the skirt no matter what other people say or do, because the world's never going to compliment you being your authentic self. Like, it's not built to validate that. It's for you to validate that, and then people will probably follow suit on the back end, maybe, depending on the space you're in. But you got to just learn how to commit to your feelings and your decisions for yourself beyond other people's comprehensions or approval, because when it's always riding on that, you will never be yourself, and you will never have peace internally, because you're not even in tune with yourself. You're in tune with everyone else's feelings.
Yeah. And I feel like you can't really be your true self, your fullest self, until you kind of block out the people that may be telling you something completely different. Like, you won't be able to really evolve or do anything until you just put that mindset of pleasing other people or conforming to what other people want aside. You know, like, you can't really do it. And it's something that I've had to learn too. And it don't get me wrong, it's still a process that I go through too, but like, you just can't do it because, you know, at the end of the day, you live with yourself, you're gonna die with yourself. Like, it's true, it's real. Like, you have people around you, but like, there's only one you live with yourself. Like, I can't stress it enough. So I'm glad you said that. But
Thank you.
We are at the end of the show. Boo! I know. Boo! But Mecca, is there anyone that you want to shout out? Is there anything you would like to say in your last words?
I never thought about it, but I'm happy you asked me. I am an SOS girl. That's crazy. That's crazy. Shout out to Stacy. Shout out to Madison. Shout out to Cyrus. Shout out to Asha B. That is my other half. Road Dogs Forever. Chicken Nugget. Shout out to my team. Shout out to the cast and crew of Office Pizza, or Moe Pizza. My bad, y'all. You know, so Justin. Moe Pizza. Shout out to fam and friends who take you as you are and just move people who choose to move through life with you as you are. If you ever need a beat, contact me at Mecca by Mecca Is.
They got your information down below.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Look at that information down there and you follow me, you hit me up. But embrace people, learn in life. I guess the last thing I'll say is in life, embrace people who take you as you are and move accordingly. Those people are very important because those relationships aren't based off of a season of you or a moment of you. They will just be with you throughout time. So shout out to those people in my life, all right?
What about me?
You're one of them.
Okay. I'm just making sure I didn't hear my name, so I
named you at the beginning.
When? I don't remember that.
I said Destiny.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
My bad. My hearing was turned off. Sorry. But it's been a great show. Thank you, Mecca, for having, or just coming on. I was going to say thank you, Mecca, for having me on. This is my show. But thank you, Mecca, for coming on. I appreciate it. You know, it was a given that you were going to be on the show anyway. So, you know, I'm glad we got that in.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed this conversation, and y'all stay tuned. She's got more magic coming up, okay?
Yeah. I like to think that too. I do have more magic, don't get me wrong, but you know, we just gotta time it. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching if you're watching the visuals, and we will catch you on the next episode.